Oh, welcome back to the 14A Sports Radio Show.
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
Ha, ha, ha. And as always, 14A Sports Radio Show is brought to you by the Big Apple Sports Pals. Call them up tonight for delivery, 201-858-1075. All right, so in the beginning, we didn't even get to touch on baseball at all, but had a couple rumblings here out of the world, out of baseball last couple days. I guess just kick it off with the Yankees. My favorite thing about the Yankees right now, it came out today, Cashman wanted to sign Brian Wilson, but now he's not going to do it because Wilson didn't want to shave his beard.
Get out.
Oh.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
It's like the old school Seinfelds where they make Manley shave his sideburns the whole time.
Yeah.
When did he want to sign him? I didn't hear anything about this. When did he want to sign him?
Came out today. Like I saw it about an
I
hour
saw the
before we
Cashman
went on the
interview.
air.
Well, the Mets, at the beginning of last year, or before last season started, the Mets worked Brian Wilson out. You know, he's coming off Tommy John, and they worked him out. They said he wasn't even close to ready. And then he wound up signing with the Dodgers,
Yep.
you know, but late in the season. I would
Yeah.
say probably July or maybe even August. So when did Cashman want to sign him?
I believe this was today. I didn't read the
No,
report.
wait,
but
he wanted to sign him for next season or last
Yeah,
season?
no, for this season
this
coming
season
up.
coming up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But if I'm the beard, I ain't getting rid of that. Then what are you going to be? The face?
Well, that's his trademark. It's like James
Yeah.
Harden shaving the beard.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. It depends. If the Yankees are the only suitors, then shave.
Yeah. Then
But
you're not going to go
if-
pitch for the Newark Bears or
Right,
the Long Island
right.
Ducks.
What if he had like a nice like big poppy beard going though? Could he do that?
I don't even think the Yankees allow that. I think you can only rock
get a
the creep.
mustache?
I think you can only rock the creep stash and partial burns,
Yeah,
which is ridiculous. I would never play
but
for
that
the
was
Yankees.
that was George Steinbrenner's edict.
Yeah.
And I guess
there's
they're
carrying on
following
his
through with
wishes.
that.
Yeah.
They're not following through.
Dad
with
wouldn't
the-
like this.
to win at all costs. I mean, we don't have any Yankee fans up here, but what do you think the Yankees do? First of all, where do you think Cano? Where do you think Cano signing is going to head? What
That's
direction?
really interesting because I think that I don't know if he's going to get more money or not, especially after the Josh Hamilton and Pujols signings, where you see like these contracts just don't work out. And also, I mean, with Jay-Z as his agent, I mean, does he almost push him to stay in New York, knowing the value of the market that he's in now?
Yeah. I think, in all honesty, you want to just talk about the agents. Him dumping Boris for Jay-Z, financially, is probably one of the dumbest things
Absolutely.
he ever did. Now,
Absolutely.
he's probably getting invited to more cool parties and stuff like that. And honestly, that might be
But
more
it's not
important
like,
to
it's
him.
not like Jay-Z's
Yeah.
sitting in the room, negotiating his contract. You know, Jay-Z's Jay-Z's just a front for whatever team that's working on it.
Let me make you a statement. Scott Boras is better at his job than anyone is at their job in America.
Absolutely.
There is no one better at their job than Scott
Well,
Boras.
I don't know. I'm
than
sure
anyone
I'm
in
sure we
America.
could
I'm sure there's
dissect
other
this a
people.
little bit.
There's not.
I'm sure there's other people.
Yeah,
that are
like
really
Bill
good.
Gates at technology is the shit. That's great.
All right,
That's
but
great.
he basically invented something different.
Okay.
Somebody in established field. Whatever. Whatever. I'm not debating Bill Gates versus Boras. No. Boras is the best baseball. Boras is the best agent in the game.
Listen,
For
here
him to
on-
dump Boras was stupid.
Here on 410 Sports, we make up facts and we back them up with no facts.
Okay.
All right? That's what we do.
It was
I'm
an
down with
opinion.
that.
It wasn't a fact. That's all I have. Facts
man.
layered inside of opinions. It's like
Layered inside of riddles.
It's like a glass onion. The more you peel it, the more you can see because it's made of glass.
Say what?
Makes sense in that one. All right, but go back to Cano. You think he stays with the Yankees?
I'm going to say no.
No.
Yeah.
Now, do you see a team coming in and giving more money than the Yankees are?
The Dodgers.
Yeah.
The Dodgers signed a Cuban second baseman for 4 years, $26 million.
Is that happening or is that?
It's
is
done.
That, oh, it's done?
Oh yeah.
I'm going
Done.
to take that back.
Talk about facts, baby! No, here's why I think Cano stays with the Yankees, and I don't think he's going to get even, they floated the 10 for 300, which, I don't know,
No.
that's your negotiating. They're not even going to
No.
come close to that. But here's the thing, and Bill Madden wrote the article in the Daily News the other day, and I heard people on the radio and other areas say, well, there's always a surprise team. Somebody's always going to come with money. But
Yeah.
going back to your point, I think teams realize now, giving guys age plus 30 long-term contracts is a losing
yeah.
proposition. It really
Definitely.
is.
Never mind that 7th, 8th year. How are they living up to that?
Especially in baseball.
Look at CC Sabathia. He's basically shot. Could he have a bounce-back year? Of course.
I mean, Teixeira.
But and A-Rod. A-Rod. But so
I mean, A-Rod's a poster child for this, but
Pujols, if Cashman has his druthers, right? So Cashman wasn't signing A-Rod. Once he opted out of that deal, he wasn't signing him, and Hal Steinbrenner or Hank, whatever, went over his head and did that.
Yeah.
But if Cashman had just druthers, they made the offer. They made a David Wright similar offer initial, like 7 or 8 for 130-ish, whatever. Now I think they upped it to 7 or 8 to 160-ish, somewhere in that range. I don't think the Yankees are going to move off that number and take the Dodgers out, right?
All right.
Magic Johnson already said they got to give Kershaw a huge deal.
I mean, the Red
They
Sox
already
aren't
signed
in.
a second baseman. The Red Sox, no shot. Take the typical big spenders.
Are
Texas,
the Angels out?
The Angels, they're sitting on 2 terrible contracts, right?
Do they
I
want
have
another
to
one?
think they're out.
Texas is big money team. They can play Jackson Pro for.
Would the Mets ever?
They already have Ian Kinsler there because they slide him over.
Would the Mets just ever want to say a big F you to the Yankees and try to sign
But
him?
I don't think the
boy.
Mets. That's not. See, I don't think that's a good. I don't think that's the Mets' direction. I really
Yeah, I
don't.
think shortstop. I think they just said it like the other
yeah.
day where they said,
What?
shortstop is the place that they really want to upgrade. I know you were saying Peralta is one of the guys that they're looking at right now.
I'd be good with Peralta.
Well, the Mets need pieces, to go around this
Yeah.
field and around this rotation.
They need 5
especially
guys,
with Matt
not one
Harvey
good guy.
now. This is the time to stock it up. Like wait until next season, get a little chemistry going between the guys,
2015, baby.
and then
I think the wait is over. You need guys that could play this year that could be good for the next 2 or 3 years for the Mets. The wait is over. They need major league outfielders. They don't have any. They don't have any on that roster. And Sandy Olson knows it. Juan Lagares. I'll keep Juan Lagares at center. Give me Juan Lagares to kick a picket. But give me somebody that can hit 25 home runs in either corner. We need professional outfielders that can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
But before we start picking on the Mets, because I think we have plenty of time for that. What do you
All
think
the
about? What do you
time.
think about Cano Walsh?
I think he's a good player. I just don't think that $300 million is gonna get you anything. Now,
I think he's gonna land at the $20 million mark.
Yeah, what I
somewhere
think
around
is gonna happen with Cano, he's gonna realize that this asking price is absolutely ridiculous, and he's basically gonna take the best offer, which is probably gonna be from the Yankees. Cashman already said Cano will follow the money. Like he knows that about him, I guess, and he said that in a recent interview. Now, it's going to be who comes up with it. I thought it was interesting that the Dodgers went after that guy, so that kind of takes them out of it. But I guess he does end up in New York, but not by choice. I think just as process of elimination.
Yeah. And then now do the Yankees, I guess, I know they need pitching. I guess like Balelis or the other guys that they had coming up didn't work out. But, do they go for a center fielder too or anything like that? Or do you think they sign Cano?
Well, I think Grandy's going to be gone. Beltran might be a guy that could slide in there.
No, Gardner's their center fielder. Gardner's going to play center field for the Yankees. They have Ichiro. They have Alfonso Soriano.
Ichiro, how old is he?
Ichiro was terrible last year. When he got traded from Seattle to the Yankees, he had a great second half. He was awful last year. He hit like 270. Yeah. He played right field for the Yankees and drove in I think he drove in like 35 runs after 500 at bats. Had a sub 300 on base.
Now the sabermetricians want to say the RBIs don't matter.
He had a sub 300 on base.
All right. That's fair enough.
He was not a productive player. Anyway, whatever numbers you want to use, he was not a good player. Listen, I'm all over. I love the sabermetricians, but RBI is a common stat. I'm using it throwing out.
Yeah.
There. You want to OPS plus and whatnot.
Oh, wow.
I can do it, baby.
You want to go with war? You want to go with BAPIP?
The Yankees need an outfielder. Cashman actually recently came out and said he needs 400 plus innings in his rotation. Obviously, meaning he needs two starters.
2 guys.
I think they're going to go very, very heavy after the Japanese ace Kid Tanaka.
Yeah.
They're going to, they actually just revamped the posting where you post for the player. They average the highest post and the second highest post. So, for example, if I posted, like when Dice Cake came out, the Red Sox posted 51. I think the next highest team posted like 30. It'd be whatever.
That's the biggest
40.
freaking ripoff too.
Does that go towards your $40 million?
Does that go towar's your payroll?
No.
That post?
No, that's
now
why they're willing to spend
that.
So they'll just throw that money at him and say, "All right, now we'll give you like $5 million a year."
Well, Yu Darvish, right? They threw like close to 60 for the post, and they signed him to like basically $12 million a year. But if you could if you average it
It's
out,
good to be an agent these days.
if you average it out and get a stud pitcher's worth $25 million. What do we do?
No, you can't do that. No.
No, you don't want to. Did you see Gronk?
Yeah, I heard that.
Asian guy.
Hey, by the way, you nailed Ichiro right on the head right there. 35 RBIs last season.
Don't mess with Mully in the stats, bro.
Who's standing up, baby?
Saber Mamully.
I forgot who. I saw the article today with Cashman. You know, he had a lot of tell-all in there. I forgot, but they were going after a third baseman.
David Freese.
Freese, that's right.
Yeah.
But I mean,
That'd be interesting.
Hal or Hank, one of them said that 189 is the goal, but they're not going to let it get in their way either if they like a guy and want to sign a guy. So, I mean, they're pretty wide open. I think, is Brandon Phillips on the market too?
Why would he be if you're the Reds?
That
But
dude,
is he a free agent,
BP.
though, or
No.
no? I keep on hearing his name being brought up by like Boomer and Carr and those guys, and I'm like, is he
Brandon
gonna
Phillips.
free agent? Yeah.
Brandon Phillips is a stud.
They're saying sign him instead of signing Cano, and then
Brandon Phillips is not a free agent.
all right, that's where I'm getting.
Brandon Phillips' website that I used to write for, by the way. No credit.
Don't want to toot my own horn, but beep.
That dude, BP.
All right.
That's fantastic. Great guy.
Did you see last year when he blew up at the Reporter? Yeah, he went bananas on a Reporter, and Dusty Baker. They were like, Dusty. They're like Brandon Phillips go nuts a Reporter. Dusty's like, he gonna do that. Dusty, you gotta calm your boy down.
Oh, but Phillips was the guy who I think didn't he tweet something about like he take the guy at second base and like the guy ran right into his butt. It was like the butt slide or the butt tag or something like that. I think that was Phillips.
Yeah, the ass in the face.
That was a big thing on like his Twitter or something like that.
But no, Brandon Phillips is a very good player.
All right, you want to tear apart the Mets now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, if you're the Mets, where do you prioritize? Where do you go?
If you can get Granderson I think it's getting guys, but at appropriate prices. I think you sign Granderson to a couple-year deal. Try to get like like you said, Peralta. I heard that the Mets were talking to him. I don't know really like who else is on the market as like a solid shortstop that they could pick up, but I think like we said, get a couple pieces. Don't go anything too crazy. Just start building up this roster to make it more professional guys that are in the clubhouse that are going to show up every day and not trying to pull these guys out of AAA and say, all right, hey, just go show us what you can do. Hopefully you turn out to be something.
Well, I think the Mets are getting sticker price shock when Marlon Byrd's getting 2 for 16.
Oh, Mully,
which is bananas. It
but,
really is.
But you know what? Marlon Byrd's a great guy. He interacted with the
great clubhouse guy. Great clubhouse guy.
And it's not like he got suspended for PEDs for 50 games, right? Which I don't care about. But he got that hanging up. That's right up Ruben Amoru's alley.
Absolutely,
that's a perfect Ruben Amaro sign. An older guy who who's coming off the best year of his career, has PEDs in his history. Let's give him 2 for 16 right off the bat. And completely screw the entire market.
When you told me that yesterday, I'm like, oh, man, that's cool. You know, we got Marlon Byrd. And then, like, I just was not assuming 2 years for 16 mil.
And then, like, why you were excited.
And then, like, later on in the night, I had class and I'm on the computer and I saw, I was like, what? What? Are you kidding me?
It was so outrageous. That's why I posted.
And I feel like out of the outfielders, Granderson's the guy they get the best price for. I mean,
what do you think? What do you think's a reasonable? I mean, what's reasonable? It's all what he can get, and I don't blame him for getting one dime less than he can. But
I don't know. I mean,
for Marlon,
you go 3 years for
3 for like 35, something like that. Or?
Oh, I don't think you think he'll take if he takes 3 for 36.
Who are we talking about here?
Granderson.
Yeah, around there.
3 for 40. Right. I do 3 for 40.
But just because he's got service in the MLB, I mean.
And apparently Granderson, great clubhouse guy as well.
He throws like a sissy.
That was overrated. But listen, he could be.
I mean, well, look at the Red Sox this year. They weren't the world beaters, but hey.
And they talk about the Cardinals that the culture is so important. So that's not. I would normally dismiss that, but I think it has some factor. It has some factor. I don't know how great the factor is. You can sign an asshole. If he's hitting 35 home runs, I don't care. I mean, Carl Everett, he didn't believe in dinosaurs. And how many teams did he play for?
But I think, especially with pro sports and stuff like that, I mean, these guys are getting paid tons of money. I mean, they're going out there playing a great sport that they love. I mean, I think it's the little stuff that can probably out there, make you look forward to coming to the ballpark or make you hate your job and just be like, all right, I'm just going to come in, do whatever I can, and then whatever. I'm going to go home,
Listen, I think there's something to be said for that, but you know what? The guy that hits 35 home runs, that's the guy you want. I don't care if, he tips the clubhouse guy or not. Like, whatever. Hit the ball out of the park. Speaking of which, an interesting fact, I think in Granderson, in his 91 home runs the last, 3 or 4 years, maybe not counting last year, only 9 of them wouldn't have gone out of Citi Field. So you talk about the dimensions of Citi, he played to the short porch and right. I think that lengthened his swing entirely too long, especially not last year, 2 seasons ago. He got a little too long, get a little too homer happy.
But I mean,
his
he's still got
strikeout
speed. I mean, he's solid fielder. I mean, it's not he's not totally home run dependent.
He's a professional outfielder.
Yeah.
Is what he is.
Yeah.
Better by far than anything the Mets have right there on the roster right now.
100%. I would rather give him 3 for 45 is too much, but 3 for 45 then give like Shin-Soo Choo 6 for 100 or something of that nature. Ellsbury the same way. I think Ellsbury is another big money guy.
Yeah.
Dependent.
But I think again,
Ellsbury's called Crawford. If you actually, I read an interesting article. They're basically the same play. Ellsbury's a leadoff hitter and plays center, where Crawford was a 2-hitter in his left field. But they're both similar players. They run. They use their legs. Not a lot of power, but can hit the ball out of the park. Yeah. Would you give Carl Crawford that contract right now?
No,
absolutely not. Whoever gives Ellsbury that huge contract, Seattle, maybe Chicago, the White Sox, they're going to regret that.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. I mean, teams that generally need to, keep their fan base interested and stuff like that. That's usually winning ball games. I get it. But what I'm saying is, I think I could speak for these owners and the GMs that, when they try to make these huge, free agent splashes, they're trying to bring fans to the
how you keep people interested?
Winning ball games. Sure. I understand
that. He wanted the sound effect. Decision, Dave.
All right, so let me bring a couple names here. Some of the top free agents. Let's see. Would you like them on the Mets? Now,
yes.
All of them, yes.
How about Shin-Soo Choo?
Yeah.
Shin-Soo Choo.
I don't know.
Listen, he played center in Cincinnati. He was completely out of place in center field. He's not a center fielder, but you play him in either corner. He's an above average to average defender. No problem with that. He's a leadoff guy, 420 on base. But my problem with him is you look at his splits. He's left-handed, cannot hit lefties. Mm-hmm. He's basically a platoon player who you're paying at maximum value. Yeah. No, I don't want Shin-Soo Choo on the Mets only because of his financial demands. I thought last year he's another Boris guy. I thought, when you looked at before last season, when you looked at the free agents, obviously the Mets had huge holes in the outfield.
Yeah.
You looked at them and said, all right, Shin-Soo Choo might be a guy to target, not crazy money that you can plug in there, get a 3-year. It's kind of what we're talking about, 3-year, 36.
A small.
He won 6 for 100.
Yeah,
6 for 1. He's going off the Jason Worth contract. That's what they're basing on. That's crazy.
But yeah, I think there's maybe
poor Worth,
and maybe not even, but maybe like 4 or 5 guys in MLB that's worth a contract like that, and he's not one of those guys.
Well, you're worth with somebody to pay you, but you don't want to.
Yeah, but I mean,
maybe in the Tokyo League.
But I mean, the Mets. I mean, especially if they're gonna not be big market spenders, they got to start thinking like a small market team and just start getting these guys on cheap contracts and just do what they can.
See, I mean, I agree with that to a sense, but like. You don't want to be in a repetitive cycle like a la the Knicks, right? We just talked about that. They got out of salary cap hell, and now they're right back into it.
Yeah.
The Mets just cleared a ton. They cleared Santana. They cleared Bay. Frankie Francisco is off the payroll. Now, you don't want to go out and just throw the money around because you can.
Yeah.
And I think fans need to understand that, but all the city's in a tough spot here. He's in a tough spot. His big pitcher just went down. So they're not going to be ready to win anything.
And now people are throwing like Wheeler and stuff in trade talks.
Crazy.
Like, why even bother?
Wheeler, Syndergaard, they're untouchable. They're untouchable. Don't touch them.
Just build off this pitching staff. Try to get some solid guys around them and build slowly.
You know the model we should follow. Forget the Red Sox. You know our model, the San Francisco Giants.
All right.
That's our model.
All right.
That's the model.
I like it.
You build around a stud pitching staff. Now, they have Buster Posey, Buster Posey's an MVP. David Wright is not probably at that level right now.
But then they got a young guy like Denard, who hopefully they look to...
Right,
not maybe be a Posey guy, but...
Right.
Well, I think if you guys are going to make a big trade, he's got to be the piece that
Denard? No, you can't trade him. You can't, because then you're just...
But I'm saying, if you make a big trade...
But then where are you at a catcher? Disagree. You can't.
Like you said before, you don't need one piece. You need... pieces.
What I'm saying, you got decent catchers in. You got Napoli, you got Saltamacchia in there.
So you want to trade Deneau and then go move. Well, Napoli's not a catcher anymore.
He could. I mean, obviously not your.
I don't see Napoli
the one that you want,
but even if he does, he's playing first base. He's actually a very good defensive first baseman.
Yeah, and the Mets already got enough of those.
Deneau you control for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, between arbitration and stuff like that.
He's not going anywhere. You're not going to trade him. You're going to live or die with Deneau behind the plate. They also got Syndergaard, which was an absolute steal.
Yeah.
But
all the deals the Mets made, I mean, even though Beltran has come back to life, but even getting Wheeler for him, I mean, Those have all been good moves for the Mets.
Absolutely.
And that's what they need to stay on. They can't just be like, okay, now we have a decent pitching staff. Let's go out and get all these guys and hope that we start winning because it's not going to just be like a snap of the fingers.
They need professional outfielders at reasonable contracts is what it comes down to. Who's that guy? Maybe it's Granderson. Nelson Cruz apparently priced himself out of the Mets range already.
Jeez.
Apparently saying Drew is too much already.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next guy.
Steven Drew?
Yeah.
The shortstop? I like Peralta. I think Peralta could hit.
Hey, who's the guy that you guys had, the young guy playing shortstop
Tejada.
towards the end of the season?
Wait, no.
Tejada
Wilmer Flores played
Wilmer
third base
Flores.
when Wright was out. Wilmer Flores.
No, he was playing shortstop.
Well, Tejada. Not Quintanilla, who's useless.
Yeah.
Young guy?
He's a spare part. Well, Tejada started to see 2 years ago. Tejada was very good. He looked like he was a developing star. Not star might be, but an above average player. No, it's Ruben Tejada.
Okay.
He looked like he was coming in. He was going to be above average, and he just had a horrible year last year. Terrible attitude. He started off poorly, got hurt, and they basically buried him in AAA Las Vegas. Who they already decided that he's not a part of the future. They're moving on from him.
Here's a name maybe for the pitching staff: Irvin Santana.
Too much money. Irvin Santana wants like Greinke money, which is insane. Irvin Santana had a big bounce back year. He was very good this year, but the Mets can't spend big money on pitching. They need an arm to fill some innings this year. But the Mets, their bread and butter is going to be the pitching staff. You got Syndergaard coming, Wheeler's there.
Yep.
You already got Nice G, right? Colin McHugh, who is not really a guy, but the Mets have a lot of arms coming.
I think the best thing the Mets could do, and the fans are going to hate this, but it's sit back a little while and let these guys go out there and try to reach for this money. And as the market kind of is showing itself that people aren't paying this, then you try to swoop in with a more reasonable deal than what these guys are looking at.
Like a Michael Bourne approach, what they did last year with Michael Bourne.
Yeah, I mean, even though they lost him, but still, I mean, I'd rather lose him than pay him that extra cash, I'd rather not sign him at a ridiculous number than...
They didn't give him the extra year. They didn't offer the extra year. But the deciding factor with Michael Bourne last year was so if you finish with one of the 10 worst records in the Major League, you don't have to give up your first-round draft pick for a guy.
Yeah, I was going to add, do you know if the Mets finished in there?
They were 10th.
They were 10th,
so
so
if they could sign anybody.
Phil's are in there, too.
And they give up their second-round draft pick. So like if they signed the Granderson, they'd give up their second-round draft pick. Peralta wouldn't cost him anything because he wasn't offered that qualifying contract, that $14 million one-year deal. Whereas I think there were 13 guys that were offered. But with Michael Bourne last year, if they did sign him, they would have had to give up there was a discrepancy. They actually finished with the 10th worst record, but Pittsburgh, since they didn't sign their pick the prior year, they got a pick ahead of them, so they actually had the 11th pick, and they never let it play out, and Bourne wound up signing with the Indians. But now this year, they don't have to give up that pick. They need two outfielders. They need a shortstop. They need an arm. That's what it boils down to.
That's all.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all. Now, before we hit the break, I know the Phillies tried to put a deal out there today. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I don't like it at all, but Joey Bats for Don Brown. I don't like it at all.
Joey who?
Joey Bats.
Votto?
Batista.
Jose Batista.
Yeah.
For Don Brown? You don't like that? Are you insane?
No, because...
Are you insane?
No, I'm not insane. Listen, Don Brown is a young, up-and-coming player right now.
Don Brown had one good month of his whole entire career.
He didn't. He will continue to be good. He will continue to be good.
Oh, look at it. Bring his numbers up.
All right,
we'll
bring him up.
He had one good month.
Batista's coming off an injury.
Are you
I don't know what that was.
No.
All right, we're going to do the Walsh pulling up stats.
Wait, Don Brown for Jose Batista straight up?
I'm more involved with it, but those
those
are the main components.
Michael.
Does Walsh even like
know,
sports? Or does he just
you
like
know
talking
how
about
I
travel?
feel about Don Brown.
He just talks about travel and time for games.
He's like a secretary, Michael. A secretary.
He's always talking about where they got to be and when they got to be there.
All right,
Stats
we'll look at
we
the
bring it
stats
up,
on
Dom?
the break. And we'll look at the stats, and then
All
we'll
right.
bring them back.
All right, for the Coles News Network?
We'll bring it back at the end, whenever.
Right before we
Fair
start doing
enough.
the chuggums.
All right. Well, no shit. Listen, I know that Batista has much better stats. I'm just saying, going forward,
But my
I think
question
he's
is with the
not,
Phillies,
he's not going to... Like,
what are they
his
doing?
peak already hit.
What are the Phillies doing? Are they trying to rebuild or are they trying to...
They just signed a
They're
38-year outfielder for 2 years.
They're trying
Yeah.
to rebuild on the fly. It's
rebuild on the
amazing.
fly? I mean, Howard's done, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Chase Utley's over
Howard
the
should
hill.
be a platoon player.
Do you guys still have Halladay?
Yeah, I think. But they
No.
could re-sign it. Like,
No,
he's
he's
technically
free.
a free
He's a free
agent,
bird.
And
not
so
on
is
their payroll
so is
anymore.
Carlos Ruiz. Like they could technically
The Mets
still
could
come
sign
back.
him.
And
Mike
they've-
Holliday
yeah,
is a sign.
there was actually a
He's out
report.
for the year.
Oh, is that for
He
the
got Tommy John.
Yeah.
Or no,
No,
shoulder.
no.
His shoulder.
He's not going to be out for
He's
the
got
year,
Tommy
though.
John shoulder?
He had shoulder surgery.
Shoulder Tommy John?
And he came back. I was wrong. No, he had shoulder surgery.
Yeah, but he's not out for the year.
You're right. Yeah, no, he
No.
came back last year.
But yeah, I mean the Phillies are trying to put some things together. I know that they do need a right-handed bat to go along.
You know what you need?
with Utley
A GM
and
with
Howard.
a clue.
Listen,
Oh.
Ruben Amaro, he's built competitive teams for a while. Like he hasn't had the last 2 good years be that well.
That Howard contract
But you know
was
what?
outrageous.
I
That was
don't-
one of the worst
I don't like
contracts in
the
baseball.
Jonathan Papelbon one. I think that's horrible. It looks like they're going after AJ Przinsky right now. So that would be the two people that I hate the most in baseball on my
And you
team.
gave up the flying
I will
Hawaiian.
yeah, and you see what he did. Terrible,
Yeah.
killing me, Rube.
He should have got fired just off that Ryan Howard contract alone.
What do you have? You have Ben Vereen? This guy plays baseball?
Revere, Vereen.
You don't have a third baseman. Cody
Oh, no.
Ash ready to play? Probably not. His
Nah,
bat
that was
doesn't
the
play.
thing. They were trying to get Batista there so that just in case it didn't work out with him, that they would have
Batista's
an
a
insurance
stud,
policy.
bro.
I understand that, but his best days I feel like are behind him.
Disagree.
And he's playing up in Toronto with that long ball, so who the hell knows what's
What does
going
that
on
mean?
there? Four flies up there.
You're in Citizen
Everybody's
Bank!
hibbing.
Citizens Bank is the easiest
Yeah.
home run park in the baseball.
Next to Colorado.
All right. I only want that for myself, not for him.
Don't let the facts
Only-
get in the way of your argument, my friend.
Only Walsh gets the
Yeah, get your own
I
sound.
need my own sound.
Get a French horn or something.
French horn.
What do you give me a stupid French horn for? We're gonna have decision days. We're gonna have to work on
Maybe a trombone.
We'll talk about it. All
Maybe
right,
solid
a rusty
trombone.
let's get to a video right now. King Ramses. This one's called Can't Let Go. When we get back, time for the Coles News Network.
Yeah.
For today's sports on 15 Minutes Fame Radio. Right back.